Hi, today I'd like to talk to you about tips for giving a really good presentation. I came across this in a workshop on communications I ran not too long ago, and the purpose of the workshop wasn't about giving presentations, but clearly giving presentations as part of the broader communication rubric. And a couple of the participants were very keen on sharpening up their presentation skills, particularly not having much experience. So I thought about that, and I think there are 5 key things that are very simple from a novice to an experienced person to be able to reflect on and ask, geez, how well do I do this? That will give some good tips to giving simple but very effective presentation strategies. Number 1 is be very clear on your goal. There are basically 3 goals that we have. We may have more than one of these, but we need at least one of these in terms of our presentation goal. Number 1 is your goal information, is it change, or is it skill? Information is about giving knowledge, so purely the purpose of the presentation is simply about disseminating knowledge of some particular type. The second one, change, is about behaviour. What is the justification for changing the behaviour, what behaviour needs to change, and what is the pro-social behaviour that needs to be rewarded and measured in some way to show that that change is effective somehow. And the third one there, of course, is skill, which is about learning. And we learn most by doing, basically. So that's kind of dovetailed into behaviour a little bit, but skill is a little bit different. It's about a methodology, a process, a way of doing things that's more kind of repetitive and routine by nature. So information, change, or skill. What are your key goals? The second aspect here is all presentations have 3 parts to them, just like all books. They have a beginning, a middle, and an end. The beginning is about catching people's attention and establishing what is important. The middle is the key content. What are the key details? What's the key information, the key behaviours that we need to change, the key skills that we need to learn? And the final point is about finishing on a note that reinforces what your key message happens to be. The third tip around giving a good presentation is be very clear in your pace and tone and what you want to say first. Now, I'm not always the best in terms of pace. Like most people, when I get passionate about something and enthusiastic, I tend to rush a little bit. But I have to learn this too, and it's very important that we do breathe. We kind of slow down, we speak very clearly, we enunciate clearly as well. The fourth key tip is to use props. Now, props might be, for example, PowerPoint. Props could be an item or series of items on a table or a stage that reinforces different points that we're trying to make. It could be an example of a product. It could even be members of the audience if we're able to get their participation to illustrate certain points in different kinds of ways. Props are very useful because they reduce our anxiety, they give structure, and often, and particularly when we get the audience involved in some particular way, they buy in and they own the presentation themselves in some particular way. The final key tip is to breathe. Before and during our presentation, calm ourselves down. If we breathe clearly, of course, it slows down our pace of movement and our pace of speech, and things become a little bit more clearer as well. 5 key tips. I'm Jonathan Black. Thanks very much for watching.